What's up? This is Greg Collins, DVC for Adults podcast and YouTube channel. I almost wish I had done this episode before I did the one on banking and borrowing or unborrowing points earlier, because I want you to see that this is not just for those that go back often. I think I'm going to start sharing my screen for you all watching. I think it's pretty easy to figure out that if you go multiple times a year and you stay, you take maybe 6 to 8 people with you every time. You're paying those hotels wherever you stay, you're paying them over and over again. Whereas if you pay DVC one time, a lot more money up front, but then you've got it paid for 20 years or so. So today I'm going to talk about how, even if you don't go often, this still might be the thing for you. We're looking at right now, there's some Polynesian listings. I'm going to talk to you a little bit. Here's some pictures of the Polynesian. I just thought we'd pick the Polynesian because it's a popular place to go. I personally like the tower they have there now. This is the lobby of the tower. That's where I've been. That's the Polynesian pool that everybody likes. There's a shot of this is from the official Disney site, so I'm not actually giving away those people's personalities there. But really nice rooms, really nice rooms, better than the rooms you've already paid for and threw your money away for. That's just my way of saying it. Here's a gallery of Polynesian. There's Kona Cafe, the pool again, all kinds of nice stuff. The rooms. Here's the deal about the rooms. Instead of cramming everybody into a regular hotel room, let's say you want to move to a two-bedroom villa. Okay. Two-bedroom villa is going to give you one nice big bedroom with a king bed and the own your own bathroom with a full shower and tub and those kind of things, your own balcony, your own television. There's also a second bedroom. Typically, most of the time, they have two double beds, two double queen beds. I should say it that way. Also a bathroom, also a balcony. It varies by resort, but Polynesian, here, the reason I picked Polynesian is it's popular because it's a monorail resort. It's actually walkable, although it would be a decent walk to Magic Kingdom, all that kind of thing. Here's what I want to paint today. Even if you only go once every 3 years and you want a two-bedroom villa, it may be easier than you think. You're thinking, well, if I just go once every 3 years, can you first show me how many points required? Well, let's look at that. Here are the point charts for Polynesian. Let's just pick, I'm going to pick a round number. This is the column for a two-bedroom villa right here, and it's for the week before Thanksgiving. A week's worth of points is $450. Well, how much would that cost to buy all those points? Well, look at this. Here's what my add-on is. If I wanted to buy 450 points at Polynesian, I would have to pay $243 per point. Now, they're good until 2066. So if you start busting that up by the number of years you'll be in it, not quite as painful, and then you've got other possibilities like resale organizations that also list Polynesian points, and they'll get you down to maybe 169. There's some 180s, that kind of thing. But regardless, that's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. Now, here's what you could do instead. There are banking and borrowing rules. Let's say it's funny, I've already done this. I booked a 2027 reservation. I booked it in 2026 and I used points from 2028. Now, how in the world did I do that? Well, let's say instead of those 450 points, let's say you just purchase 150. and that you're only going every 3 years. Well, all of a sudden, this seems more manageable. That price per point was 243 right there. 243. Let me get out my trusty calculator. 243 points times 150 points means that would cost you $36,000. So, and then you divide that up over the next 40 years. So you can do that in your head. That's less than $1,000 a year, isn't it? Well, here's what you can do. There are banking and borrowing rules. Okay. So here's what you do. You can, if you decide the points that I got, for instance, and on April 1st of 2026, let's say I'm not going to use them all. I have got until November 30th to bank them into 2027. Let's say I have 100 points I didn't use or I'm not going to use, and I say, all right, bank those into 227. Well, all of a sudden, let's say I have 300 points total. My 300 points in 2027 plus the 100 that I just banked from 2026. Now I've got 400 points to use for 2027. And let's say I want 450 points during that year to book something. Well, then I would borrow 50 more points from 2028. So conceivably, I could book a vacation for next summer, 2027, use my 100, it would use my 100 points from 2026 first, then it would use my borrowed points from 2028, and then it would use my normal points next year. So my point is this. Even if you only go once every 3 years, that may be a good thing because then you can buy about a third of the number of points, DVC points that you need, and use the bank and borrowing rules. Now, I'll give you a warning right now. There's a lot of people talk about as soon as you buy some and you think you got plenty, you want more points. So it will happen to you. So, but that's the thought for this episode. You got to buy points. It, they hate to use the timeshare word, but in effect, that's what it is. You are buying a real estate interest. It goes in the books as a real estate interest, and you own a piece. Say if your home resort's a Polynesian, you own a piece of the Polynesian. You pay your money. You then have that until, in this case, 2066. The year varies by the different resorts. And just as a reminder, the rules are the newer resorts like Riviera and the Disneyland Hotel villas out in California. If you buy resale points instead of points directly from Disney, you can only use those at the resort where you bought them at. If you buy directly from Disney, you can use them anywhere, just like always. 11 months ahead of time for your own resort, 7 months ahead of time for any other resort. But you can buy those at that time and be ready for the vacation you need. I think it will save you money, but that's not the real reason you're buying it. You're buying it. It's kind of like prepaying your vacation. You don't have to worry it again. I'm in August this year. I am going on a split stay, and it feels like it's free. It feels like all 6 of those nights are free because I've already got the points, and I just use the points. I don't have to hand out any more cash to anybody when I get there. I'm buying more expensive food, but who's to say I wouldn't have gone out for a nice meal while I was home? So, but that's it. There are different ways to look at how many points you should buy. If you go often, that's the number of points you need to look at. If you go once every 3 years, well, divide the points you'll need. In this case, we were looking at 450. Divide that by 3, buy 150 points, and bank and borrow so that in every 3rd year, you could actually use 450 points. All right. So that's it for today. Hope you're having, this is vacation season, man. It is pouring down rain here in Kentucky. Next week, our I know Florida's had heat indexes in 100 for a while. We're getting those next week. So we're going to have mid-90 temperatures and heat indexes. And I've already measured this morning 5 inches of rain that has fallen since midnight. So here we are, summertime. Happy vacations to everybody. Hope you have great ones.